Welcome to the Old Charles. Today we are talking about the Australian 20-cent coin from the year 1976. This coin is very popular with collectors and everyday people who find old coins in their change. The Australian 20-cent coin is part of the decimal currency system introduced in 1966, and by 1976 the design was already well known across the country. The obverse side of the coin shows the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. This portrait was created by Arnold Machin, and it was used on many Australian coins during that time. The Queen's image represents Australia as part of the Commonwealth and reflects the history and tradition of the nation. The reverse side of the 20-cent coin features the iconic platypus. This design was created by Stuart Devlin. The platypus is one of the most unique animals in the world, and it is native to Australia, making it a perfect symbol for the coin. The coin is made from cupro nickel, which gives it a silver-like appearance, but it contains no silver. The diameter of the coin is quite large compared to other Australian coins, which makes it easy to recognize by touch and sight. The edge of the coin has a series of curves which also help people identify it without looking at it. Now let us talk about the value of the Australian 20-cent coin from 1976. In general, most coins from this year that have been in circulation are only worth their face value, which is 20 cents. These coins were produced in large numbers, and many of them are still found in circulation today. Because of this high mintage, circulated examples are very common and collectors can easily obtain them. However, condition plays a very important role when it comes to value. A coin that is heavily worn with scratches, marks and faded details will usually only be worth face value or slightly above face value if kept as a keepsake. When we move to coins in better condition, the value can increase slightly. A 20-cent coin from 1976 that is in uncirculated condition, meaning it shows no signs of wear and still has its original mint luster, can be worth more than face value. Collectors often look for coins with sharp details on the Queen's portrait and clear strong lines on the platypus side. Coins that have been well preserved over the years and stored properly are more desirable in the collector's market. These coins might sell for a small premium depending on demand and overall condition. There are also collectors who search for errors and varieties. Error coins can sometimes be worth much more than standard coins. Errors may include off-center strikes, double strikes, or unusual marks caused during the minting process. If a genuine mint error is found on a 1976 20-cent coin, its value could be significantly higher than a normal example. However, error coins must be carefully examined and often authenticated by experts, because damage after minting can sometimes look like an error. Another important factor in value is grading. Professional coin grading services can assign a grade that describes the condition of the coin. Graded coins that receive high grades are usually worth more because buyers trust the assessment of condition. A 1976 20-cent coin with a high grade and strong eye appeal may attract collectors who are building complete date sets or high-quality collections. Historically, the 1976 20-cent coin represents a period of stability in Australian coinage. It was a time when the designs were familiar and trusted by the public, and the economy was adjusting to changes in the modern world. Many people remember using these coins in everyday transactions, which adds a sense of nostalgia for collectors today. Even though the coin may not be rare, it still holds cultural and historical value. If you find an Australian 20-cent coin from 1976 in your pocket change, the best thing to do is check its condition. Look at the details on both sides, see if there are any unusual features, and compare it with images of uncirculated examples. If the coin looks special, it may be worth keeping or showing to a coin dealer for advice. Even common coins can be fun to collect and learn about. Coin collecting is not only about high-value coins but also about history, design and the stories behind everyday objects. The history of the Australian 20-cent coin begins with the introduction of decimal currency in Australia in 1966, when the country changed from pounds, shillings and pence to dollars and cents. The 20-cent denomination was created to replace the 2-shilling coin, and it quickly became an important part of everyday transactions. The new decimal coins were designed to be modern, practical and uniquely Australian, which is why native animals were chosen for many of the designs. The platypus was selected for the 20-cent coin because it is one of the most distinctive animals in Australia and represents the unique wildlife of the continent. By the time 1976 arrived, the 20-cent coin was already well established in Australian society. The design had remained consistent since its introduction, with the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse and the platypus on the reverse. During this period, the Obverse portrait used was the Arnold Machin effigy of the Queen, which showed her wearing a tiara and facing to the right. This portrait was used on Australian coins from the mid-1960s until the mid-1980s, making it one of the most recognisable images in Australian coin history. The year 1976 itself was a time of change and development in Australia socially, economically and politically. The country was experiencing shifts in government and public policy and everyday influenced by global events such as economic challenges and cultural change. Despite these broader events, the minting of coins like the 20-cent continued steadily, ensuring that the public had enough currency for daily use. Large numbers of 20-cent coins were produced in 1976, which is why they are still commonly found today. The Royal Australian Mint, located in Canberra, was responsible for producing most of the circulating coinage during this time. The mint focused on efficiency and quality, producing durable coins that could withstand heavy circulation. The cupro nickel composition of the 20-cent coin was chosen because it was strong, resistant to wear and visually appealing. This helped the coin last for many years in circulation, which is why examples from 1976 can still be found with clear designs even after decades of use. Over time, the Australian 20-cent coin became more than just money. It became a symbol of the decimal era and modern Australia. Many people who grew up in the 1970s remember using these coins in shops, public transport and vending machines, which adds emotional and nostalgic value today for collectors and historians. The 1976 20-cent coin represents a snapshot of Australian life during that decade, showing how design, tradition and practicality came together in everyday currency. As the years passed, changes were made to the Queen's portrait on Australian coins and new security features were introduced, but the basic design of the 20-cent coin with the platypus has remained largely unchanged. This continuity connects modern coins with those from 1976 and earlier, making the coin an important link in Australian numismatic history. Today, the 1976 Australian 20-cent coin stands as a reminder of the early decades of decimal currency and the lasting impact of thoughtful coin design on national identity. The condition of an Australian 20-cent coin from 1976 is one of the most important factors when judging its value and collectability. Coins that have been in heavy circulation for many years usually show clear signs of wear. These signs include smooth areas on the Queen's portrait, loss of fine details in the hair and face, and a flatter appearance on the platypus side. The claws, bill and body lines of the platypus may appear worn down. The rim of the coin may also be weak or damaged, and there can be many scratches, marks and small dents caused by everyday use. Coins in this condition are considered poor or heavily circulated, and they are normally worth only their face value. Of 20-cent coins that show moderate wear are often described as average circulated condition. In this state, the main details of the design are still visible, but there is noticeable wear on the highest points of the coin. The Queen's portrait may still be clear but softer in detail, and the platypus will still be recognizable with some lines visible on its body. The coin may have light scratches and marks but no major damage. These coins are very common and usually hold little extra value beyond face value, but they are still interesting for beginners and casual collectors. A coin in good circulated condition will show only light where the details on both sides are mostly sharp and clear, with only slight smoothing on the highest points. The rim should be mostly intact, and the coin will still have a pleasant appearance even if it has lost its original shine. These coins are more desirable than heavily worn examples, but because of the high mintage of 1976 they still do not carry a high premium. Uncirculated condition is where the value can increase. A coin in uncirculated condition shows no signs of wear from circulation. The details are sharp and complete, and the coin often retains its original mint luster, which gives it a bright, fresh look. There should be no flattening of the design, only small marks caused during minting or handling may be present. Coins in this condition are harder to find because most were used in everyday transactions. Collectors often seek uncirculated examples to complete high-quality sets. There are also higher levels